Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lana and I'm a body-oriented psychotherapist. Today we will answer your questions about your well-being, about self-development, and about spiritual aspects of psychotherapy. Let's get right into it. So, the first question that I will address is the question about manifestation. And I love that you guys ask that question, and I love that you want to connect how is manifestation connected to therapy, because there are so many manifestation coaches and it's all great, but we often perceive therapy as something that has nothing to do with manifestation, which is more kind of like fixing a certain problem that we have, or working or focusing even on some negative aspects of our life. But that is far from the truth, because therapy is about creating one's life. So the first thing I want to say when it comes to manifestation, it's important to embody an archetype of the magician, of the Merlin. And that archetype of the magician is basically the unity of our light and dark. So I don't believe in manifestation by just repeating certain affirmations. It's rather about feeling a connection to what we call our essence, and then allowing that essence to create our life, because we basically want a certain things in life because we want to feel a certain way. What we actually long for is self-realization, actualization, and in order to live who we truly are. And that is our essence, to have a more soulful life. We may think, if I have more money, I would worry less, or I would feel relaxed and at ease finally, or whatever the reason is for you. Sometimes reasons don't come from the essence. Sometimes they come from the shadow. Maybe I want more money because I want more power, or something like that, because I utterly feel neglected or not important, and I want to feel that I'm worthy and that I have to be valued. Whatever that is for you, that's why it's so important to do shadow work. And when I say shadow work, I mean it's important to understand what are those parts of us that we are neglecting, that we are tossing somewhere in the shadow, that are basically creating life. Shadow is a living, breathing energy, and it will haunt us. And we can create another persona, another mask. We can act out a new mask, a new fake reality within. But if we don't integrate, embrace the shadow, and start living as the magician from the wholeness, we will not live the life we're meant to live. That is one thing that is so important to say when it comes to manifestation. If you are interested more in the topic of manifestation, I will leave you a link for guided experiences. One, how to be in contact with your essence, and another, how to be in contact with your soul. I will also leave you a link for the movement class called The Creator, where we are diving deeper into the energies of the Creator that we are, that is helping us understand what it is that we truly long for, what it is that is truly out there for us. Because when you dive deeper into it, there is no past, present, and the future. There is no time. There is just presence of our being, of ourself, of our I amness. And from that space, we are basically experiencing what we are. So then we say, I manifested this partner, but he was actually, that relationship was always there. So maybe we don't need to effort to manifest something. We just need to allow what we already are to unfold right before our eyes. And yes, this is something that we are doing in therapy. Because once we become aware of all of our neglected parts, even abused parts, and parts that are in pain, when we integrate them, all of these parts hold the essence and the purpose, and they are opening up these doors of our highest potentials, of the Creator, of that unity of light and dark. And then when we are the magician in that unity, then we truly can step into the life that we came here to live. So that's regarding the manifestation. If you want to know more about it, or if you have a specific question, write to me or send me a DM. Another question was about transformation, also a beautiful question. However, I will not go too deep into that question today because I have created a masterclass called The Phoenix. And then in this masterclass, we will dive deeper into how to embody the archetype of the Phoenix and how to allow the archetype of the Phoenix to work with us. So important. But what I will say about transformation is that in order to really transform, we need to realize two things. First is that we actually don't change. We expand from who we were. That's one. And another thing that is very important is that we must learn how to die. We live a life of many deaths, so to say. We must learn how to let go, how to not hold on to certain personas or even people, how to trust our essence, and then we can rebirth and transform or expand into who we truly are. But we are diving deeper into the Phoenix experience. Then we had a question: work-life balance, split between responsibility and fulfilling one's own needs. This is a very important question. So here I want to share something. So sometimes when we find it difficult to have work-life balance is because we tend to overwork ourselves, or we tend to rigidify ourselves in our bodies in order to complete a certain task or fulfill a responsibility. And what really struck me here in this question was the word split. And we all do that. And if we rigidify ourselves, it takes effort to relax. So when it comes to rigidification, that is actually a reaction pattern, which means that it is learned behavior. It is our coping mechanism. Another thing that it comes here is that we need to learn how to soften. And as I said, rigidification, when we feel like we need to do this, that, and we have one task, second task, third task, and we're very focusing on our outside reality, and we are sort of like structured, very structured and rigid. And we need to find a deliberate effort to soften. But it takes time, especially because with rigidity, what we are actually avoiding is vulnerability, connection to that softness inside of us that is our essence. So then the question would be, if I would allow myself that softness, if I would learn how to make this softness a state of being, how would I approach my responsibilities then? How would my work-life balance be if I would be more present and softer in my responsibilities as well? And also for that, it takes understanding of oneself. It takes awareness, a lot of self-awareness, and yes, some inner work to understand why do we react the way we do, because it's a reaction, so it happens instantly. And then it takes time to change that habit. So one thing that you can do is to practice trust, practice letting go and releasing and embracing the softness. How can you release that tension? So if you have a partner or a friend or a family member, how would it feel like if you could just lean on to them and know that you don't need to hold everything by yourself? And also another great practice is to just lie in the hammock and allow how this hammock is supporting you so that you can really release and let go of, and just being gently swayed side by side. Also, self-soothing touch, any self-soothing practices that could bring you more and more into that place of softness. And I know that that maybe sound counterintuitive, but I need to tend to focus on my responsibilities. And yes, sometimes the outside world is mirroring that to us. These are the people who are more successful in life, who win. But are they really present? Is it really impossible to be an amazing at what you do and to trust that you will manage everything without that tension? Then we had a question about self-compassion. And self-compassion is, I would say, one of the most important thing you can incorporate into your experience of life. Because self-compassion means that I fully accept myself as I am. But not only that, that I'm present with myself and I can see beyond my hurts, wounds. I can see who I am as a being. And I would also say I can see that everything that I don't like about myself serves a purpose. It is here for a reason. So for an example, my body looks a certain way because of the experiences that I had in my childhood. There are parts of me who are protecting me that maybe look like they are not on my side, but they actually are. So in order to be really in the space of self-compassion also means to integrate the mother archetype, which means that I am here for myself unconditionally. I am here for myself unconditionally. Another thing that I would like to address here is self-criticism and negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is a learned behavior. There is no baby out there that is talking negatively about themselves. We come as the essence, and the reason why we are not connected to our essence because of the experience that we had. And when we feel like we are angry with ourselves or that we are judging ourselves, that means that we actually never were given, or now we don't give ourselves the opportunity to see who are we really angry with. So we are never angry with ourselves, no matter how we think that we are angry. But the energy of anger was never channeled when it was supposed to be. And then it built up inside of us. We probably suppressed it. And in this spiral of anger, we turned it onto ourselves. And then it does come in a form of self-sabotage, self-criticism, even self-hatred. And maybe sometimes, in some cases, on top of that, we create a perfectionism. So I will be a certain way, I will look a certain way, and I will behave a certain way. I will achieve certain things, and then I will be lovable, and then I can accept myself. But self-compassion says I accept myself fully all the time because I am human, and humans make mistakes. And it's important to understand that in our essence, we are perfect. So this is the difference between idealization, that is from the mask, and ideal, that is from the essence. It is who we already are. We don't need to prove ourselves. We don't need to achieve anything. We just need to embrace that inner light, that deep, soft, essential part of us, that quality that is saying yes to our life and to ourselves. So here are some practices that you can do that can help you cultivate more self-compassion. Do a mirror talk. Look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and notice how much you actually judge yourself, and make a deliberate decision. I will not treat myself that way anymore. And see if you can say at least 5 things that are kind to yourself and really mean it. And as you look at yourself, see if you can look yourself with the eyes of your soul. Take a deep breath and imagine it. Look yourself with the eyes of your soul. And if you do it day by day, one day you will notice that you're observing yourself and everything around you, not just as a human, but also as the soul that you are. And that's beautiful. I had to move a little bit because my half of my face was in the shadow, half in the sun, so I decided to all into the light. So, which is good because we are up to our last question. And the last question was, I can feel people's aversion toward me, and this person is looking for some inspiration on how to deal with that. So I would say a number one thing is what you feel about yourself. How do you perceive yourself? And I have recently shared one beautiful image. It's about the grandma who is sitting in her wheelchair and she's looking on her wall, a beautiful shadow of a ballerina. And she sees herself as this beautiful ballerina. And it doesn't matter that she is in the wheelchair because it is who she is in her essence. In her essence, she is ballerina. And this is not about fake projection of who we want to be, while we are in fact hiding and compensating this lack of self-worth, this lack of, or this compensation of feeling bad or feeling unloved and unworthy. So this beautiful image is what this is all about. It's about how do I feel about myself? And other people will mirror that. And it's also a question, do I surround myself? Do I surround myself with people who are mirroring my self-worth, where I feel seen and appreciated? And we all have at least one person in our life. But if we don't feel that way about ourselves, we can't even receive that, or we are devaluing these relationships even. And let me tell you a secret also. People really don't care about us. What they see in us is a reflection of themselves. So whatever they see in you is their story, not yours. And of course, it's also a question of boundaries. Can you set boundaries if somebody is unkind to you? Can you say, I will not be talked to that way, I will not be treated this way? And also you can learn some social skills if you feel like that is necessary. But it all comes down to, how do I perceive myself? And of course, if we are triggered when other people are unkind to us, or we feel they have aversion toward us, then we can see or ask ourselves, how do I feel about that? What does that do to me? Is this the first time that somebody has felt about me? Or maybe there is something already stored in my body, some past experiences. And then this is a great opportunity to become more self-aware, to even maybe go to therapy to explore these emotions even deeper. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. I hope that these answers brought you more awareness and clarity. And if you feel like you want to explore some of these topics or some of your other personal topics deeper, and you want to book a therapy session, I am offering a free intro session, and I will leave you a link in the description of this video on how you can book that. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.